I want to ask you a question. Who's coaching you? Who's asking you the tough questions? Who's telling you, man, you're the common denominator to all of your issues and challenges? Who's telling you, man, all day long you become the magnetic pulse that attracts to you both good and bad? I want to be your life coach. I want to be the one that cheers you on to the finish line. I want to be the one that you ask the tough questions. And it doesn't mean that I have all the answers, but that means that you have a partner, someone who believes in you, not the you see right now, but the you can't imagine, the you that you are to become, the you are destined to be. I always say we both need the positive and the negative. It's not enough to have the knowledge of the matter, but we must have the wisdom as well. For wisdom settles it. And that's what I want to offer you as you join me on the Coach's Corner. I want to offer you the wisdom of the matter. Maybe it might be relationships, talking about our campaigns for more, for life, the dark room of our subconscious, our spiritual journey. Whatever it is, I want to be there to encourage you, to build you, to challenge you, to cheer you on to the finish line. I'm qualified to do this. Why? Because I'm you. Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, thank you so very much. Thank you to all our listeners. Spreaker, Voicecast, Ustream, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Blog Talk Radio. We've been a little bit sluggish getting over there to dump our stuff, but all of those of you that are joining me all over the world, thank you so very much. I surely appreciate you and yours, and for tuning in for our special series that we will be continuing. I don't know how long it's going to go. It's going to go on until I've exhausted enough data for you to be able to make a change and make a switch. And today we're going to continue to talk about the secrets to love and finding love as we move forward. Thank you, Mr. Engineer. As we move forward in this this new year, yet young in the year, or in the middle of the year, or end of the year, whenever you may be listening on demand. We are also live and on demand. Thank you for those that are subscribed to us on iTunes. We surely appreciate all of your support. Thank you so very much. We appreciate you, and we want to hear from you. Say thank you. Say, Coach, you right on. Coach, you way off. Let me know something. Don't just sit there and listen on your iPod, smartphone, tablets, desktop computers, and laptops, and never say anything back. That you wrong for that. You know that. You wrong for that. But anyway, moving on, I just, as I have been moving forward in this, I want to just say this. For those of you that are looking for vanity love, this is not for you, what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just kicking it, with some chicks and some dudes, you know what I'm saying? And, hitting it here and there and just grooving, partying, all that. This stuff ain't for you, you know what I'm saying? This is for grown folk, for real. Okay, because the consequences to our decisions, our celebratory decisions in our youth often lead to patterns that are difficult to destroy in our adult life. So I am not really talking to people who are bent on having a celebratory model that is unhealthy to a certain degree, but at the same time, this is for folks when they're ready to grow up. And when you're ready to grow up, you listen to this kind of stuff, because don't nobody want to hear what I have to say, unless they want to grow, So we're continuing on with this secrets to love, and it's really only a secret because we haven't been honest. And I hate to go back there, but I have to go back there again today because I have to place myself as a listener when I'm meditating about what I'm going to share. And as I put myself in the shoes of a listener, I can hear a listener saying, but my truth is a lie. My truth is a lie. My truth was based on my exposure. And I want to talk about that for a quick minute. When your truth was a lie, then your life becomes a lie. let me repeat that. When your truth was a lie, your life now becomes a lie. And what I'm saying, the reason why I'm saying it to you now is because perhaps up to now you have been a victim, perhaps. But now that you know that the truth what you thought was true was a lie. For instance, I'll give you a little example, okay? When you're growing up, you hear people say, well, men don't cry. Well, see, that's a lie. If you would have said, well, women are more prone to cry genetically more than men, since that women are relational and men are material to a certain degree, or, I don't want to get into that dynamic, but you know what I'm saying? But if you grew up hearing that men don't cry, then you embrace that as your truth. But I'm here to tell you now that you're not a victim anymore. You're not a victim anymore. So we don't want you thinking like a victim, feeling like a victim, and walking like a victim. And by all means, we don't want you to be living like a victim. And we need you to understand that when you were told, I'm using this for an example, that men don't cry. Men don't cry is a lie. But you embrace it as true. So all while you were growing up, you looking for a hardcore Negro, that don't cry. He hard on the outside. He hard, as they say. My man is hard. He done shot 10 people. He done robbed 3 banks, white collar crimes. Well, he done swindled 4 homeowners out of their money. You know what I'm saying? And he done found a way to cipher, money from X, Y, and Z. We got the white collar crimes and the blue collar crimes. We'll talk about that one day. So you build around the exposure that you have from the time that you were a child to young adulthood. And I'm not talking about what somebody even told you only, but I'm talking about also what was showed to you, what was told to you, and what was showed to you could or could not be the truth. But the point of the matter is we embrace it as children and as young adolescents as truth, as gospel, and as young adults or teenagers to young adults, we build lives around what we believe to be true. And then later when we see the results keep snowballing into a bunch of drama for your mama, we're asking, what the heck is going on here? Well, as you run your own investigation, I can't run your investigation for you. You got to run your own investigation on yourself, on your past, on your exposure, on your environment previously up to now. Not now, but just now is included, but previously. You want to know the predictor of the future is look at past patterns, past behavioral patterns. You see. And so you may have embraced. It's just like, I'm using examples today, just like when you go out, into the public from your residence, from your business, and from your saloons, if you go, those of you that do hair and all that, and from your your parents' house, you don't know who washed their hands. I had to pause right there. You don't know who washed you as you interact with buggies in the grocery store and products that are on the shelf and money that is given to you at the register for change back for services that you just purchased, to people handling your credit card. You don't know who washed their hands? And so if you're not in the habit of constantly washing your hands, then by all means, you're going to pick up more germs than necessary, because as we go throughout the day, we touch our face, we touch our face, we touch. I'm talking about, our face, our mouth, our ears, or something in your eye, you rubbing your eye. And you interacted with all these folks. You don't know who washed their hands. You don't know if it's true or not that their hands are clean. But you interacted with them. You want your change, but you don't know how dirty. If anything is more dirty, they say, if anything is more dirty, is money. Because everybody and their mama touching it. Had to get me a little something right here too. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not going to leave you with a principle without first giving you some foundation. So we all cracked up and messed up in some kind of way. We all have, some kind of issue. But I believe that if we, at least do the basic concrete setting, we might have a chance. For instance, I'm going to give you another example about your truth was a lie. And now you've built your life around what you thought was the truth, but it turns out that it's not yielding a peaceable result that you really need, a manifestation that will last, a manifestation that will have congruent ingredients that lead to some kind of authentic experience. It's too much drama. It's too much. Well, what happens is this. I was going to use another example. This one just kind of came to me. It'll come back to me. You, as you grow up, that's what I was going to say. For instance, if you didn't have a father, now we're not talking about words, because kids pick up what they see more than what we say. Let me say that again. Youth pick up what they see more than what we say. I'll say that one more time. We pick up more when we're impressionable and young and moldable and meek and innocent. We're like sponges. We pick up what we see and hear. Why? Because a child let me tell you something else. A child is growing and developing in the sensual or the sense realm. Sense realm means all the senses, okay? Don't go off on me, okay? Don't go there. But everything's developing sensually, and sense-based development is taking place. Ear tasting changes, hearing changes, eyesight, vision changes. Of course, by all means, your brain is growing and your body is growing. The child is the child is in a storm. The child is in the greatest storm of all time that people rarely talk about it like that, but they're growing. And so their environment, whatever it is, whatever your environment was, if you wanted to start telling yourself the truth, you get a blank sheet of paper and write down what was your environment. Just draw it. Don't write it in words. Draw it on a blank sheet of paper. Maybe you may need 3 blank sheet of papers. Maybe you may need 4. Maybe you need to take 1 blank sheet of paper and fold it in half, fold it in 4s, fold it in 8s, and put each in block what comes to you from the past. Because you were so impressionable. You were so sense-based. You were sensitive. You were young. You were innocent. You were a sponge. I was a sponge. I was young. I was innocent. You might have been a victim. We got to get and move from being victims to being victors. And I'm not saying that if you attracted somebody or attracted to someone and you started the love journey and with some victimization issues or whatever, hey, that's cool, because, you're not going to be perfect when you find love. See, that's the other problem. We'll talk about that later. But if you're waiting to be perfect, but you need to be compatible, you're not going to be perfect when you find love, but you need to be compatible. It's just like when you find a job, you may find a job, right, that you can apply for, but are you competing for the job? There's a difference. There's a difference when you apply for a job, right? And you may be able to qualify based on your application, but are you competitive? And so it's one thing to say that you want to find love. Nobody's saying you got to be perfect here. But what you've got to be willing to do in the journey of love is you've got to remain compatible. Compatible in a dialogue, for instance. Compatible in the journey of raising children that don't repeat the past. I felt that right there. Children that don't repeat the past, because we tend, without intention, we tend to pass on our hurts, our pains, our exposure, and our experience to others subconsciously. You are a project that requires time. You got to look at some things. And like I said, don't now, for those of you that are already in the journey of love, don't even start that pouting and all that self-pity. And because it can get depressing if you ain't careful. It can get depressing when you look back, because that's why people don't look back. That's why people go on and give me some weed, bro, because I'm finna, or give me some, for those of you that are more sophisticated, give me some more church. 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 You ain't got a life. You in church every 5 minutes. You ain't got a life because you saying Jesus every 5 minutes, because that's a cover. Because even you don't want to face the pain. I don't want to face the past. I don't want to look back. I don't want to look back there because it's dang on painful to look back. For some of y'all, so for many of you, for me, it was very painful. Years I've looked back, years just trying to figure out what the heck is going on. You got to do your own investigation. If you don't, you're crazy. You plow ahead without. I know it's painful. I know it brings back memories. I know it brings back pains. I know. But I'm going to tell you one thing. The journey of love is not absent of having done your own personal investigation about your past, let alone hooking up with somebody and they're bringing their past. Let's talk about that for a quick minute. Then I want to get back to something. I want to get back to... I covered that already. I want to get back to something, but let's talk about that already. You see, the joining of the two, is a mystery in and of itself. The joining of the two. I'm talking from experience, because my parents been married 50-something years. And you don't get that far without asking some questions. You just don't get that far. You don't get that far without going through some changes. I mean, the good, bad, the ugly, all of it. You just don't. Relationships are work. That's why we have, that's why we have vanity relationships out here on the streets now. That's why you can't find, and see, if you ain't careful, you get caught up in that vanity lifestyle where you touch, feel, have, taste anything you want, free standing, free loving, free access. What the hell is that? What kind of, like we throw back into the 60s or something. All we need now is some weed, some wine, some whiskey. And before you know it, we're back in the same cycles. And if you trace things back, those cycles are similar to what you saw, what you heard, what you felt. And that is what made up your belief system today. The two becoming one is a mystery. But I can guarantee you that you do not get to choose whether or not you become one with that which now you disdain at a later date. That once you enter into a relationship and consummate it with a sexual relationship, you become part of what you want to accept or not. The two becoming one is a mystery at best. So imagine you don't even know yourself, and you say you were attracted to an external shell and the articulation of, and the, for some of us men, we're attracted to accents of a woman, and we look at the hands. We men are visual, see. So my God, I mean, it could be the exterior, it could be her eyes, it could be her hair. I mean, we're not that deep, you know what I'm saying? But women are a little bit, well, historically, women have been much more deep than men when it comes to relationships. But what happens is you become one with so many entities, individuals in your fly-by-night vanity relationships that you dull your senses as a woman to pick up or to discern or to use your God-given qualities as a woman, because women are more relational than men. Anybody that don't know that is a fool. You ask a woman, you get in a conversation about a woman, you come sit at the table where a bunch of women are talking, them and their girlfriends, and they're talking about people. You get a bunch of guys in a circle and get them some steaks and potatoes and, a cup of colas and all that, and they're talking about the cars or rims or a job or promotion or a contract or a sale. They're not talking about no people. So by far, our women are much more complicated and sophisticated and dedicated to relationships than men. Now, that don't mean they get everything right. It just simply means that their makeup. And see, when you put the two together, though, the intention, though, that when you put the two together, if you ain't downloading these teachings right here, these sessions right here, these motivational antics right here, these inspirational sessions, you are crazy, because you ain't going to get all this in 1 second. You have to listen to this kind of stuff over and over and over and take notes. But when you put the two together, one is more relational, one is more achievement based. I say material for lack of a better word, but one is relational, one is material. And of course, with material, you become provisional, if you know what I mean. The man is to provide for his home through material, through achievement, you feel me? And then a woman is to help him. Well, how do you help him? We're just talking about the intention of this thing now. How do you help him? Well, you point him to what he may be and what he will miss relationally, whether it be with you, whether it be with the kids, whether it be with his boss, whether it be with his contracts, whether it be with his business. That's what women do. That's what women bring to the table. They bring a half. And this is where, oh God, I'm running out of time. But this is where we've gotten off track with the equalization. Women were never less than equal. It's just that they bring to the table a congruent of ingredients that is different from men. And they enhance the situation overall. I need some help right there. They enhance the situation because no matter what a man achieves in life, as it regards to material gain or material exchange, he's going to interact with people. And women, by genetic design, I need some help right there. I need you to start giving yourself some credit when you picked up that he and she ain't right. But then if you done did a lot of vanity relationships, you're going to be thinking kind of crazy because you're going to be getting signals from all over the place. And I'm going to need you to detox first before you walk back into a room and be able to use your genetic makeup just to discern and break down what's going down in that room. That's how bad women are. Women are bad to the bone. They're awesome. But if you've been in a lot of vanity relationships, there is a dullness to your genetic sense ramp, your genetic abilities. There's going to be a dullness. There's going to be chaos there. But if you've been holding tight and you've been holding up values and ethics and walking by principle and things of that nature, you could walk into a room and tell. Now then, there's a lot of great women that ask me, well, why don't I have a man? Well, if you got to ask the question, you don't need one. Why are you asking the question? Because there is a blockage, and I don't have time to go into this because I wasn't to talk about the 4 levels of love. I'm gonna have to talk about it on the next session because I don't have enough time. But you know, a lot of successful women and a lot of great women ask, why can't I find a man? Let's just spend our last few moments on that. Why can't I find a man? If you gotta ask the question to me, I'm just me. It's just me. Like, if you hear somebody else talk, you know, you go with what they tell you, but you listen. I'm on the microphone. If you gotta ask the question, then you don't know what's going on. You haven't done your homework. You haven't done your own investigation on you, because you are the common denominator in every situation. And I want to tell you this. Oftentimes, I just gave you the keys to the whole thing. I gave you the secrets. Men are not relational based. So some men may come at you wrong. Hello? Or wrong to you they may be coming at you right in their minds, but coming at you wrong in your mind. Talking to women now. But a lot of great women, successful women, want to know, well, why can't I have a man? Well, first you have to define what you want that man to be. What are you saying you want? What are you saying you're after? And now that you are now thinking about coming off your own yacht of success and your own yacht of achievement, and that means you want to ride somebody else on the captain's ship. You know, you want to ride somebody else on your yacht. You have to define what you want. Okay, so a lot of women have defined what they wanted. Now, do you believe first, have you been fair in your assessment? Have you been fair in your assessment? Have you been fair? See, what happens is, this is what happens, and I know this is probably going to be my last word, and I have to pick this up later. But what happens is we have our vanity relationships, and I mean, we go. And then we have our nostalgic accomplishments. I'm talking about folks have accomplished some stuff. I'm talking about degrees, accolades, certifications, all of these things, registrations, civic associations, political, I mean, all of that. Nice car, beautiful home, great credit, all of that. They done had their time in the wind too. And now what you're saying when you say you want everything to be perfect, now it's somewhat judgmental, because there's this, anytime you have money, wealth, anytime you have status, accomplishments, there's a sense of entitlement. Now I want me a man. Well, hold up, sister. Hold up. You wasn't always together. And you see where I went with that? In other words, are you practicing truth in a whole manner? You want someone to match what you are now, as if you were never anything less than what you are now. But you must agree that when you meet people, you must be meek and humble enough to know that they may not have it together as you see it, and they may not know how to take you as you portray yourself now. But you were not always where you are right now. You wasn't always where you are right now. They flagging me. I got to get ready to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you weren't always where you are right now. So you walk with this little arrogance that you have a sense of entitlement. See, you have to be truthful. I mean, I'm just saying. You want someone to match where you are now, but you don't have the meekness or the humility to entertain a conversation without compromise, based on where you've been. You see what I'm saying? And you may be afraid that you would slip back into your hoodie ways. And so you get real cocky with it because you are really afraid to face your past in a man that seems to be less than what you are right now. And you got to do some truth investigation as to where that came from. I
I gotta go. I swear I gotta get out of here. I'm overtime. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you do. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're gonna continue to talk about the secrets to love and finding love. And remember, love is not something really that we find. Love is not something that we go to the store and purchase, but it is the becoming that we must do, and not the doing, and not just activity-based love events, love activities. See you next time.
You're listening to the sounds of your lifestyle improvement station.